Yo, welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Breathe, Hoops with your boy, Nikki P. You don't know what time it is. Ladies and gentlemen, basketball fans, and most importantly, the most tortured, loyal, and loudest fan base in the history of professional sports. Look at your watches. Take a breath, because it's been 27 years, over a quarter of a century, since the Garden Raptors have shaken like this, since the streets of Manhattan smelled of cigar smoke and hope, since the last time the New York Knicks punched their ticket to the NBA Finals. Let that sink in. In 1999, most of you were watching on the CRT television. The Twin Towers still stood. The iPod hadn't even been invented yet. And the world was bracing for Y2K. Now, in 2026, we're not just going back, we're storming the gates. The Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. To understand how incredible this is, you have to understand the bones of this franchise. They were not built on flash. They were built on sheer will. Go back to May 8th, 1970, Game 7 of the Finals against Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain's Lakers. Willis Reed, the captain, the heart, tears a muscle in his thigh. He's ruled out. The building is silent. The dynasty is dead. Then the tunnel opens. Reed limps out. The crowd loses its collective mind. He hits the first 2 jump shots of the game. He didn't need to score again. He had already won. That team, Clyde Frazier with 36 points and 19 assists, just balling. Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, that was the first dynasty, and they did it again in 1973. Those Knicks weren't just a team, they were a masterclass in passing, defense, and the huddle. They proved that New York doesn't chase superstars. New York manufactures legends. But after that, the lights dimmed. The Garden became a museum. For nearly 2 decades, we watched Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan raise trophies while the Knicks raised their blood pressure, until number 33 arrived. The Ewing era, the hump, the heartbreak, and the finger roll. Patrick Ewing, the Georgetown Goliath, for 15 years he carried a city on his broad shoulders. He didn't just play for the Knicks, he was the Knicks. And yet, he had to climb the highest mountain while a demigod named Michael Jordan stood at the summit throwing lightning bolts. The early 90s, the battles with Chicago, the John Starks for 3, no, the alley-oop that Charles Smith couldn't finish. Those teams almost climbed the hump. They threw punches, they bled, but Jordan was an extinction-level event. However, when Jordan retired for the first time, Ewing finally saw daylight. In 1994, Game 7 of the Finals against the Houston Rockets, John Starks goes 2 for 18. It was a tragedy written in orange and blue. So close. So brutally close. Then 1999, the AC, the lockout Knicks. Nobody gave them a chance. They marched through the Heat, the Hawks, the Pacers. Allen Houston's runner, Latrell Sprewell's choking defense, and Patrick, his body was breaking down. His Achilles betrayed him in the Eastern Conference Finals. He watched from the sidelines, and despite beating Indiana, despite making the finals, they ran into Tim Duncan and David Robinson. The Spurs swept them. 1999. The Last Dance, and then for 27 years, the desert. We watched Isaiah Thomas ruin this. We watched Carmelo Anthony score 62, but never get past the second round. We watched Porzingis leave. We watched lottery pick after lottery pick. But in the end, the Knicks still became the punching line of the league. But you know what they say about New York. You can knock them down, but they get up bleeding. The rise of the Nova Knights, Jalen Brunson and the blue-collar approach. Which brings us to this team, the 2026 New York Knicks, and at the center of it all, a man who was told he was too small, too slow, and too unathletic, Jalen Brunson. Let me tell you about Jalen Brunson. He's not a superstar by the league's glossy definition, although he keeps making his case for that. He doesn't have the 48-inch vert. I don't think I've ever seen him actually dunk in a game before. He doesn't have the alien wingspan. What he has is a concrete mind, an extremely high basketball IQ. He's the first player since Willis Reed who truly understands that playing in New York is almost a spiritual type of contract. He embodies the gritty blue-collar mindset of the MTA worker fixing the tracks at 2 a.m. He's the journeyman plumber who shows up on time and fixes the leak that 3 other guys couldn't. He drops 40 without you noticing until the fourth quarter. He uses a pump fake that should be illegal. He finishes layups through contact and would send other guards to the hospital. Brunson is the captain now, and he has an army behind him. Look at the supporting cast. Josh Hart, the rebounding guard, the energy vampire who just wheels the ball into his hands. DiVincenzo, if he could get back healthy, the sharpshooter with the villain smirk. Karl Anthony Towns, a walking double-double, who can bust you for 30 on any given night. Mitchell Robinson, a great backup behind Anthony Towns. Shamet coming off the bench. They got pieces to fill all the gaps. This is not a team of mercenaries. This is a team. They pass, they cut, they dive on the floor for loose balls. They play Mike Brown type defense until their lungs burn. They've almost climbed the hump for 2 years, losing in second rounds and getting in the playoffs, losing in the conference semis. They learned, they got hungrier and hungrier until now. The waiting game. The final boss, Thunder or Spurs? Who stands in the way of destiny? Two mega titans. If it's OKC, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, shoot, he's a problem, especially when he's getting all those calls and flopping and, foul baiting the refs. Chet Holmgren, the human pogo stick. That series would be a chess match, and Chet would be feeling way more confidence than he is now because he wouldn't be playing against a player like Victor Wembanyama. The Thunder have finesse. They have great defense, great team defense. They have analytics, they have youth, but do they have the soul to win in a Game 7 at the Garden? Does SGA want to see Josh Hart hounding them for 48 minutes? Does Chet want to feel Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns banging him and just bodying him down low because he's a skinny little dude on every single box out? The Knicks would bully them on the glass. They would slow the pace, and in a half-court war, shoot, give me Brunson over any closer in the West, including SGA. But if it's San Antonio, that's a whole nother type of beast. This is a whole nother story that the league wants. The old dynasty versus the new renaissance. Wemby, the alien, the 7'4" nightmare who blocks shots like he's swatting flies. The Spurs are back, and they're terrifying. How do the Knicks fare? The same way they always have. By committee. You don't stop Wemby, you survive him. You put Karl Anthony Towns on his hip, bring in Mitchell Robinson off the bench to use his fouls up, and you just play it collectively. You make him work for everything. No open looks. And on offense, you put Wemby in the pick and roll until his lungs give out. Brunson will hunt that matchup. He will pull up from 18 feet over those long arms. But be careful, because Wemby does get out there and block shots on the perimeter. He's not just a paint defender. The Spurs have the higher ceiling, but the Knicks have the higher floor. And in the NBA Finals, the team that doesn't beat itself usually wins. The conclusion, does the trophy come back to New York? Looking around that arena in the Garden, for 27 years, they've watched the Lakers, the Spurs, the Warriors, the Nuggets. They watched every drink from Larry O'Brien. We watched Patrick Ewing sit in a suit in 1999, helpless. Hopefully for the New York Knicks fans, they want that to all end now. This team, this scrappy, bastard, resilient, beautiful team is going to the finals not because they have the most talent, but because they have the most heart. Jalen Brunson is Willis Reed in a point guard's body. Josh Hart is the new John Starks with a better attitude. Mike Brown is the reincarnation of Red Holzman. The rest of the league is scared. They should take notice. They should be. Because when the Knicks are good, the NBA is great. When the Garden is rocking, basketball, all is well with basketball and hoops. So New York, get your tickets. Borrow money if you have to. Work a little overtime. Call in sick. Hug your father who watched the 1973 title. Hug your mama who cried in 1994. Because the parade might be coming back to the Canyon of Heroes if they could pull off the unimaginable. The Knicks are going to the finals, and this time, they might just bring the trophy home. What y'all think? Y'all think the Knicks have a shot, or you think it's an automatic whoever's coming out the Western Conference is immediately winning the ring? Jump in that comment section. Does Jalen Brunson and Mike Brown in the squad have an actual shot at bringing the chip back to the East Coast, back to the Empire State? Holla at me. Let's chop it up. Jump in that comment section. Like, share, do all that stuff. Rewatch. Go share with your friends. And once again, you know who this is. It's your boy Nicky P. This is Eat, Sleep, Breathe, Hoops. And until the next time, peace.